questions the narcissist cannot answer. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I'm often asked, H.G., why do you do this? Seasoned viewers and readers of my work will know that the reason that I've created this extensive body of work, unrivaled in its excellence and insight, is, on the narcissistic side, the pursuit of the prime aims, and, because of my psychopathy, the necessary triad. With regard to the narcissistic aspect, I receive fuel by way of people's responses. I don't need that fuel from the various tertiary and, in some instances, secondary sources, but I'll take it nevertheless. But that isn't the main reason why I do this. I do gain some character traits as a consequence of the interactions that I have. There's knowledge to be obtained from other people also. But again, that isn't the sole reason why, or the primary reason why I do it. I gain residual benefits. For instance, I make money from selling the books and undertaking the consultations, etc. Again, that is not the prime reason why I do it. I gain stimulation from the body of work that I provide. That is an important aspect of why I do this. Accumulation is also applicable with regard to accumulating readers and viewers. But it is primarily as a consequence of two aspects that overlap. Control. And as I've explained before, there are two aspects with regard to this control. The first is that at some point I'm going to die. It's some way off, but it will happen. That's a threat to my control. By knowing that I've created a legacy whereby my work will live on after I've done, that will enable me to nullify that threat to control. The other aspect, which is the purpose of this video, relates to the point that there's a lot of misinformation out there, particularly in relation to narcissism. Time and time again, I have identified videos or articles that either talk about narcissism without recognizing it, or purport to explain aspects of narcissism and get it hopelessly wrong. And I've got another example of this which came my way recently, which I wanted to share with you to ensure that, first of all, you understand that this information is incorrect and that you do something about it by sharing this video and pointing out to others how this information that I'm about to tell you is so hopelessly wrong. It is utter garbage. It comes in an article posted by Lad Bible, which I've noticed has got a little bit on the bandwagon of narcissism and psychopathy as of late, but unfortunately repeatedly puts forward information which they're getting from dubious sources. Here, the article states, an expert has revealed the 6 questions that a narcissist can't answer truthfully. It states someone with the mental health condition known as narcissistic personality disorder can be defined as an individual with an increased sense of self-importance, a deep need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. According to research carried out by the BBC, it's estimated that 1 in 20 people in the United Kingdom have NPD, though the number of undiagnosed cases could be higher. As I've explained previously, I say it's closer to 1 in 12. Now, an expert has taken to YouTube to reveal the 6 questions that narcissists can't answer honestly, and saying it might surprise you as they don't actually have an answer for everything. This individual, called Christina, states that if you were to ask a narcissist what makes you happy, they would answer nothing. That answer is partially correct, but it gives the impression that the narcissist would be able to achieve some form of happiness. And the danger is that explaining it the way that she has may well cause the narcissist's victim to strive harder to try and make the narcissist happy. The accurate answer is to explain that the narcissist is incapable of experiencing happiness because they're not wired to. However, they believe they feel happiness, which is what the narcissism tells them as a consequence of the receipt of fuel to drive them to get more. So accordingly, it's only a part answer, which has the potential to be misleading. The next question is, this individual highlights that narcissists discard people, leaving relationships suddenly before attempting to come back weeks or months later. And the question is, why do you keep discarding me and coming back? And she states they can't for the life of them explain why they are doing it. Well, actually, the narcissist can. As you know, I prefer the explanation disengagement, because discard makes it sound like it has finality, and as you know, there isn't. The fact is, if the narcissist left you and then hoovered you back in later, or attempted to do so, and you were to ask them, why did you get rid of me, and then try and rekindle the relationship, the narcissist can give you an answer. They can give you an explanation. They'll say something such as, you really hurt me, and the relationship wasn't working, so I decided I needed to be out of it. But with a bit of time away, I decided I'd give you a second chance. Or, it was clear things weren't working between us, and I was part of the problem. So I went away and did some work on myself, and I realised now I can see things better, so that we could try again. Or, it wasn't the right time in where I was with my career, but now things have moved on, I'm more settled, and I think that we would do well together. There's lots of explanations that a narcissist will give. Some of it will be blaming the other person as to why the relationship ended. In some instances, with mid-range narcissists, they'll give the impression that they saw some problem with themselves. As you know, it's not genuine, it's just part of the manipulation to draw you back in. But the fact is, to state the narcissist can't for the life of them explain why they're doing it is wrong. The narcissist will give you an explanation. She states they could shrug it off as a ridiculous question. That's a possibility, but more usually, the narcissist will say to you why they left the relationship, because they'll blame you, and then they'll explain why they came back, often to make themselves look good. The more accurate answer is, the narcissist cannot explain accurately and honestly what the reasons are for them disengaging from somebody and then hoovering them back in. For instance, where it's the relationship with the intimate partner primary source, the narcissist may well disengage from that individual because they became too difficult to control. So the narcissist gets rid and then comes back months later because that person has come back upon their radar. There is a need to control them. The circumstances are good for asserting control directly through a hoover, and therefore they do so, and they seek to rekindle the formal relationship once again, which is done, as you know, to assert control, to draw fuel, to gain character traits and residual benefits. Now, no narcissist is going to be able to explain that to you, because the majority are unaware, but they'll give you an explanation nonetheless. So to say that the narcissist can't for the life of them explain why they're doing it is completely wrong. They can explain it, they just won't give you the actual accurate answer as to why that occurs. Aware narcissists know full well why they're doing it, but they're not going to tell you because that would be the transference of power. The next question that's highlighted by this supposed expert is, what would you change about yourself? And she explains the kind of answer you can expect from a narcissist here is along the lines of, why mess with perfection? But again, that's a half answer. There will be some narcissists that will say, there's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing I need to change, because they don't see that there is. But as you know, certain narcissists, particularly those of a mid-range variety, will suggest that there are some things they could change to elicit sympathy from the listener, to make it seem like they have some kind of awareness, to elicit that sympathy by virtue of a pity play, and accordingly to suggest that the narcissist would always state, why mess with perfection, i.e. I don't need to change, is partially accurate, but again doesn't provide the full picture. that some narcissists, though, will suggest, well, I'll change this and I'll change that, because they have the ability to convey that there might be a problem, or they don't fully accept it. It's done in that moment as a manipulation for the purposes of asserting control. The next question that this individual touches on is, why do you deserve X? Asking a narcissist why they feel that they deserve something that they may feel entitled to will likely result in them not having an answer because they naturally feel this way. Wrong. Many narcissists will give you an answer. If you ask them, why do you feel that you deserve this? It might just be so simple as, because I'm entitled to it. But more often, you get an explanation along the lines of, well, I've worked hard, so I deserve it. Or, well, you say you love me, so I deserve it because you love me, so you should do that for me. Or, well, I'm in a position of authority, and therefore that's one of the perks of the job. Or, I've been working at this place for 10 years, I therefore deserve this recognition, stroke promotion, stroke pay rise. And therefore, she suggests that a narcissist may not actually have an answer. And the fact is, the narcissist does have an answer, but of course, they're not going to tell you the actual reason, which is that it's based upon a sense of entitlement. A sense of entitlement that they should be granted this because they're simply superior. Again, the narcissism will tell the narcissist a reason to support why they deserve that, and they will convey that by way of an explanation. The next question that's posed is, what is love? This supposed expert states most people will have a perception of what love is, but a narcissist may struggle. Actually, a narcissist is far more likely to be able to describe what they see as love than somebody else, because as I made clear to you on many occasions, the narcissist is the one that talks about love more than actually doing love. The narcissist is the one that talks about love in flowery terms, in all of the ways which make it sound glorious and magnificent. This is where I've explained previously about the fact that the concept of love as detailed in songs and in Hallmark cards and in books and in plays and in films and on television is often driven by the narcissistic perspective of love. And therefore, the narcissist won't actually struggle to answer, why do you love me? They'll easily be able to say that, particularly, of course, during the golden period. If you ask, why do you love me? They'll say, because you're a kind and wonderful person, because you make me laugh, because we belong together, because we're soulmates. Or if you were to ask, what do you love about me? The narcissist may well say, I love the way the light sparkles in your eyes. I love the fact that you can suck a golf ball through 40 feet of hosepipe. And accordingly, the narcissist is able to articulate what they believe is love, but it's the narcissist's skewed perspective of what love is. They won't say that it's based upon emotional empathy. They will talk about it in a more colourful fashion. But again, to suggest that a narcissist will struggle to answer, why do you love me, is incorrect. She does state that narcissists confuse lust with love, and they definitely confuse infatuation with love, which is accurate. But to suggest that the narcissist can't answer the question, what is love, again is inaccurate. The narcissist has their own version of what love is, and invariably what that narcissist says is love is often accepted by victims, because for such a long period of time, the narrative of what people believe love to be has been fed by narcissists, so it's entered the mainstream. And that's why it becomes so easy for people to become ensnared. Love, in actual fact, as I've come to realize through observation, is based on emotional empathy. It's about patience. It's about respect. It is about a mutual understanding of a person's needs. It's not abusing that individual. It's not using them for your own purposes. I understand all of that at an intellectual level, and I'm a narcissistic psychopath. So if you were to ask me what is love, I can tell you what I understand is love. But of course, I don't feel that, and I certainly don't genuinely behave in that way. But I can answer the question. The final question that's offered by this individual is, why won't you answer my question? This is one for an argument with the narcissist, she states, where they are constantly dodging a question that you want the answer to. Well, the narcissist will provide an answer, but it may not be the one that you seek. And the individual does state that it can lead to the conversation going in circles, and the narcissist may spew a word salad. And she states, as far as they're concerned, there are no answers. No, that's wrong. The narcissist does see that there is an answer. What the narcissist says to you is their answer, and you're the one that can't understand it. So to suggest that as far as the narcissist is concerned, there are no answers is entirely incorrect. The narcissist gives you an answer from the narcissistic perspective, which from the worldview of the narcissist answers your question. From your perspective, it doesn't. So you then ask the question again, or in a different way, which offends the narcissist's need for control. So you will then be met with perhaps some deflection or a restating of the earlier answer. But to suggest that the narcissist doesn't actually give an answer is wrong, and to suggest that the narcissist believes there is no answer is also wrong. Accordingly, this article, relying on this supposed toxic recovery expert, is misleading and contains a lot of inaccuracies. And I highlight this because an article is obtained by a reasonably well-known outlet, and it doesn't provide the whole picture of the way that the narcissist functions and operates. It's far better to explain what it is that the narcissist is seeking and why they answer as they do, rather than saying a narcissist can't answer this or a narcissist won't answer it this way, because actually the narcissist will, but the narcissist can't answer in a truthful manner because they don't know that they're pursuing the prime aims. And once again, there is somebody that's putting out this information which in places is correct, but for the most part gets it wrong. And to suggest that the narcissist can't answer certain questions is inaccurate. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.